Thousands of years ago, when Joshua wielded the sword of Israel to defend his people from the constant pagan attacks, there dwelt in one of his camps a young woman by the name of Rachel. She was an artist skilled in ornamenting banners and other warrior gear. One day Rachel fashioned a battle vest that was inlaid with magnificent and meaningful writings. To each of the vest's 4 corners she attached a tassel with 7 silver threads, one for each day of the week. Her friends gathered round to admire this beautiful vestment and to wonder what lucky soldier would receive it. Some thought she should give it to her young man Nahum, who had just joined the forces of Joshua. "What do you call this piece of cloth?" they asked. "Oh, I don't know," Rachel replied. "Perhaps it should be called talit, a prayer shawl, because the symbols I have sewn in with my threads are all reminders of prayers." Someone else suggested calling it tzitzit, tassels, because the silver tassels appeared so prominent and unusual. Then Rachel said, "Let us call it arba kanfot, because that is actually what it is, a cloth with 4 corners, which because of its richness and beauty and because it is a symbol of our Torah, I should like to give to the most important person among our people." Rachel wrapped the arba kanfot carefully in linen and bore it off to the man she considered the most important, the high priest of the nation. For many days she waited outside the tabernacle. Finally, she was granted a brief audience with the high priest. He looked at the brilliant talit and said, "My vestments are prescribed by law. I cannot change them." So Rachel sought out the chief judge. He also admired the garment, but said, "So rich a garment is fit only for the leader of our troops himself, not to cover the doubting bosom of a judge of our people." For many weeks, Rachel wandered the dusty paths of Canaan, until she found the tent of Joshua. "You seek the most important man in Israel," he said. "Our fighting men are important, yes, but the most important, not I." He led her to the entrance of his tent and pointed to a far hill that stood out against the blue of the night. It was a cold night and fires were burning throughout the camp. "There he is," he said. "You see, on the rim of that hill stands a son of our people, surrounded by the cold darkness of the night. He keeps watch so that we may rest. He stands guard so that we may be warm. Give your talit to that young man. He is the most important of all." With slow and hesitant step, Rachel climbed the hill and silently placed the vestment at the feet of the young soldier. Then she looked up. It was Nahum, her young man from the village. The story spread throughout the camp and from the camp to all the people of Israel. And from that day on, every man and boy, every soldier and traveler puts on a cloth of 4 corners with a tassel on each corner, for he too wants to be a watchman for his people.